Druski have made so many Christians mad with that skit he did. But was he wrong? Shout out to baby brother JT and family. Y'all know who you are. Those who asked me to do a video on this, especially because of the skits I've done with angry preachers and mocking church folks in the past. When I did that video, how the Most High will send correction even through a comedian, through sense of humor, oh, I got chewed out for doing that one. Because if you look at my page and my old videos, especially when I had hair back then, you'll see me doing the angry preacher skits. You'll see quite a few skits of things that I saw and went through doing churches, many different churches. And it's sad when what you call the worldly folks can see how far off Christians are. Now, he's getting talked about bad because he went viral for doing that video. But the question is, how many Christians sit up under that mess all the time and cheer it on and agree with it? Or even if you don't agree with it, you're not saying nothing about it. But then here comes Druski that does it. And to me, it is funny. It's funny and sad because he's so on point with it. Just like that woman that came on his show that time, she was kind of real big, like, and she started singing the gospel song and then started twerking. Or just like when Kevin Hart at the awards show was correcting Kurt Franklin with the twerking he was doing on stage. And people got offended. Because even the world is stepping out saying what a lot of so-called Christians should be rebuking. But again, as I've been saying for years, you can't rebuke a Christian. They get mad and start talking about the world, say don't judge, and they don't read the whole passage. They don't understand discernment. They don't understand rebuking and reproof, as the Bible say, correction. Druski is so on point with that it's gonna make it's gonna make a whole lot more mad. Because see, too many of these so-called Satan-sent pastors are nothing but entertainers and motivational speakers. And that's what I get from the video. He's mocking them, so I'm gonna say he going to hell for doing that video, but you won't tell that pastor going to hell that's up there doing it every week, or however many times they do it. See, it's so many hypocrites inside of the church building, man. That's why I love comedy. Anybody know me know I love to laugh. I love comedy. I use my spiritual discernment from the Most High. And so many comedians that they say going to hell for this, but they won't say the church folks that's doing what they doing. They won't talk about the homosexual that won't get delivered. They won't talk about the money hungry, stealing pastors and preachers. Everybody else going hell according to them except the preachers that's not repenting and doing what they doing. See, it's very hypocritical what you see out here, y'all. And I've watched that video. I forgot who sent that to me. That's why when my baby brother texted to me, I already knew what he was talking about because it pretty much went viral. And anybody that keep talking about Mike Todd, and Mike Todd is heaven sent, Mike Todd this, and Mike Todd ain't nothing but an entertainer. Mike Todd loves attention. All the stuff that Mike Todd have done, and I don't hate the brother. See, you need more men of Yah and women of Yah to tell the truth, to rebuke, to reproof. That's why the Bible say take the plank out of your eye. Ain't nobody perfect, we know that. But when it comes, see, one thing I can respect about a lot of people is when they say, I ain't gonna play with God like they doing in their church. I can't play with God like that, man. I couldn't stand up in the pulpit and do this. I'd rather sit down, man. I know I'm worldly, that's what they say. I know I'm worldly, but even I know as being worldly, I'm not bold enough to go play with God like that. I ain't trying to get struck down like that. This is what worldly people say. Remember the Bible when things was going on and Paul said, man, even the Gentiles don't even take it this far. When they had to put that man out of the church who was sleeping with his father's wife. And they said, hand that man over to Satan. We just talked about that the other day. Hand him over to Satan. Even the Gentiles don't even stoop that low. Because you got people inside of these church buildings claiming to be Christians, claiming to be pastors. musicians, deacons, trustees, or whatever, and they so far away from the Holy Spirit. It's sad, family. So don't get mad at Druski, because Druski doing what a lot of the church members should have been doing. A lot of what the Christians. That's why I told you, man. You got anybody out there that call themselves they're Christians now. That's why people laugh so much at Christianity. Once again, because Christ didn't start up Christianity. That just went over most folks' head. That's why you can be whatever you want and still call yourself a Christian. First of all, it ain't about what you call yourself anyway. You can call yourself whatever you want and still miss heaven. It ain't about your title. See, when you look at worship, true worship, when you look at being, so here go the key word right here, being born again. You can look and tell and listen and can see that a lot of these so-called pastors, they are not sent by the Most High, nor are they born again. And those are the ones who are leading so many people. That's why I'm about to do this video called Those That Endure to the End. I want to go back to what Christ told his disciples when they was in Matthew 24. Why did he say endure to the end? Why was people falling out of the faith? You still see it right now. Y'all, you're going to continue to see the world mock the church. Sense of humor, videos, skits. Because even they know, and you can say they're going to hell all day, like you say all the time, people that do it. But even they know that it's something seriously wrong with these pastors and these church builders that's doing this stuff. That's why I'm not putting everybody in the same category. Everybody's not like that. But man, Druski is known for doing what Druski do. And yes, he offended many Christians, many of them. But then you got to ask yourself, how many Christians have offended so many people by saying they're a Christian, but not being a Christian? If that makes sense. I remember something, I close with this. My old partner used to say this years ago. He's dead and gone. We used to call him JB. We were talking about Christianity. He said, man, I never forget this. He said, JT, I would be a Christian if it wasn't for a Christian. He said, I'd rather just be a believer, because even most Christians I know, they don't believe. They just Christians with a title who go to church. He said they just church goers. But I never forget when he said, I would be a Christian if it wasn't for a Christian. Because he said, you think about it, they can't even get along with each other. They always at each other's throat. And that's a lot being said when he used to say that. So I'm not down talking to nobody. I'm just saying, when y'all gonna wake up? When you gonna wake up and realize that even these comedians, they see the wrong, you know, because people talk about comedians all the time. So why you get mad when the comedians talk about your church, your pastor? I'll leave that alone. Shalom.